Coming up on News 2, Defense Secretary Leon Panetta has lifted the military's official ban on women in combat. But what does the new memo mean for women serving in the military here? And Catholic Charities, along with the Department of Human Services, will attempt the very difficult task of counting the homeless in the territory, find out how and why. Meanwhile, senators meet with members of nonprofits to discuss economic challenges. Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. More than 30 nonprofit and non-governmental agencies were represented Friday at a town hall meeting hosted by lawmakers. Senators Terrence Nelson and Narita O'Reilly started the first of 3 discussions to find out how they can best help the community and develop an action plan for St. Croix's recovery in the process. News 2's Erica Parsons has more.
During Friday's town hall meeting, there was a little humor to lighten the grim reality facing many of the nonprofits, but the pictures they painted for lawmakers were no laughing matter. Nonprofit and non-governmental groups opened up to senators and their representatives about the challenges they meet every day just trying to keep the doors open.
We as legislators would be beneficial to meet with these nonprofit organizations who provide direct service to see how best we can help them during this time, because Jovenset contributed heavily to many of these organizations.
Legislators say they hope to develop an action plan for St. Croix from the conversation.
And what we hope the action plan would include, among many things, would be policy statements, maybe legislation that the St. Croix senators can advance that would help St. Croix get on the path to economic recovery, for example. Deal with the challenges that nonprofit organizations experience in delivering services, those very critical services that government agencies are not able to deliver.
The agencies present serve the community, be it children, the elderly, disabled, or abused, and the services they offer have been severely affected by the crippled economy. Nearly all the groups said they're having to do lots more with much less, meaning an increase in clients, but local funding cuts, shrinking staff, reduced services, and dipping into their own pockets because money that was allocated and promised was never delivered. Now they're barely hanging on.
Those agencies that do run facilities, 24-hour facilities, the WAPA bills, the water bills, it's almost an impossible situation. And of course, with the reduction in financing from the government in particular, we find that we don't even have money to pay the limited staff that we have.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
Catholic Charities, along with the Department of Human Services, will attempt the very difficult task on January 26th of counting the homeless in the territory. In the end, those numbers will determine how much federal funding the Virgin Islands receives in the fight to end homelessness. News 2's Sean David reports.
It's a territory-wide stigma that most people don't realize. Others often ignore it. It is the blunt reality of homeless persons in the Virgin Islands. And this weekend, it will be the main focal point of the Catholic Charities as they kick off their point-in-time count initiative to help end homelessness in the territory.
Every 2 years, we are required as a jurisdiction to do an actual count of the chronic homeless on the island, the unsheltered homeless. So we're doing that count between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. on Saturday, the 26th of January.
The count, which is a part of an initiative by the Continuum of Care Committee, is expected to feature a variety of workers and volunteers who will head out in the territory to get a proper count of the chronic homeless. Without the proper count, the committee would not be able to obtain the federal funds to establish programs to reduce the invisibility of homelessness in the territory or its numbers.
There's a lot of information that we try to collect. We give out a sandwich, we give out a snack, but while we're doing this, we're trying to collect information, how long the individual's been homeless, where they were before they were homeless, what caused them to be homeless.
And while solving the problem of homelessness in any community can be a daunting task, it is certain that one extra volunteer on January 26th can make all the difference.
And the count, again, is going to be from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Volunteers do not have to be during that time. We're going to divide up the island into sections, and the volunteers will have one particular section. Once they're finished with that section, they're good to go, and but we'll continue to gather the numbers through the day.
Sean David, News 2.
Now, for more information on how you can get involved with the homeless count happening on the weekend, call 777-8518 on St. Thomas or 773-0132 on St. Croix. And just a quick note to our viewers, on Monday, News 2 will be preempted by a special. Governor John DeYoung will deliver his annual State of the Territory address before a formal session of the 30th Legislature. Again, that's Monday, January 28th at 7 p.m. The address will be broadcast live on CBS TV2. Be sure to tune in to News 2 on Tuesday for the recap of the speech and reaction. Join News 2 at 7 p.m. and 12 a.m. And remember, you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for all the latest. Defense Secretary Leon Panetta has lifted the military's official ban on women in combat. That opens up hundreds of thousands of additional frontline jobs to them. But what does the new memo mean for women serving in the military here? News 2's Erica Bivens has this story.
And if they're willing to put their lives on the line, then we ought to recognize that they deserve a chance to serve in any capacity they want.
A 1994 Pentagon policy has been overturned. The historic change now gives women in the military the green light to serve in units with direct ground combat. On Thursday, Defense Secretary Leon Panetta sat alongside General Martin Dempsey, now chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and signed the directive that opens frontline posts to roughly 200,000 women now serving in active duty military. But what does the new memo mean for women serving in the military here in the Virgin Islands? Will it affect them?
We actually locally do not have combat units, but we fully support the new integration. The women of the military have really been able to hold their own.
Major Jason Markham in the VI National Guard says he's all for it.
You know, it's just about a time. Again, we've supported it, and I've worked with them in Iraq 2 tours now, and they can do just about anything that we can.
To be sure, standards will not be lowered just so women can join, but if they can meet job qualifications, they'll be considered right along with the men, which Panetta says is really about a reality on the battlefield where women already find themselves fighting alongside their male comrades. Although the ban has been lifted, change won't come overnight. Some jobs may open up as soon as this year. However, others like Special Operation Forces may take longer while they are assessed. But under the new memo, various branches of military have until May 15th to develop plans for allowing women to seek combat positions. And the services have until January 2016 to argue that some positions should remain closed to women. For News 2, I'm Erica Bivens.
Well, today, Vice President Joe Biden hit the road to push for new gun control measures. His trip to Virginia comes one day after Democrats proposed an assault weapons ban. But gun rights advocates from both parties opposed the legislation. Tara Mergender has the latest from Washington.
Virginia is a pro-gun state, and that's where Vice President Joe Biden is taking the argument for gun control. Biden is meeting with experts who worked on gun safety following the 2007 shooting at Virginia Tech. The vice president's visit is part of a campaign-style push for new gun laws. On Thursday, he held a web chat.
There is no sporting need that I'm aware of to have a magazine that holds 50 rounds.
And on Thursday, Democrats unveiled a bill that would ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
But Democrats are going to have a tough time getting the legislation passed. Many lawmakers on both sides of the aisle oppose new restrictions on firearms.
Committee hearings.
Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell released this robocall in his home state of Kentucky.
President Obama and his team are doing everything in their power to restrict your constitutional right to keep and bear arms.
What next? Blanche Lincoln is a hunter and former Democratic senator from Arkansas. She'd like to see lawmakers find a compromise.
There's plausible regulations that need to be put into place, and it needs to be done in a reasonable fashion, and there's good people in the middle that know and understand that.
The Obama administration is trying to rally public support to put pressure on Congress, but it will be a challenge getting lawmakers from pro-gun states to support an assault weapons ban. Tara Mergener for CBS News, Washington.
And keeping our eye on the economy, the U.S. Senate is expected to vote Monday on a $50.5 billion emergency aid bill for the victims of Superstorm Sandy. The House passed the bill last week. President Obama says he's agreed to sign the bill. Stocks opened higher today after Procter & Gamble announced its fiscal second quarter net income more than doubled and beat analyst estimates. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank's Stock Market Watch. The Dow up 17, Nasdaq 19, S&P 8. Coming up on News 2, love reggae music, a brief interview with Dwayne Stevenson as he gets ready and gave away 2 VIP tickets for Love City Live. Plus, the Bamboo Station is making some beautiful music and making their mark all over the world in the process. And for the first time ever, a video release is taking place tonight. The St. Croix and Twin City Frederiksted Lions Club are encouraging people with diabetes to take steps to a healthier lifestyle as the organization is holding their 3rd annual Strides for Diabetes Awareness Walk, as well as a health clinic with a free flu shots and health screenings. News 2's Janisha Jan brings us more on Saturday's upcoming events.
Diabetes affects many in the Virgin Islands, and for years the Lions Club of St. Croix has worked towards helping residents lead a healthier lifestyle by hosting activities like their annual Stride Diabetes Awareness Walk.
We are having our 3rd annual Strides for Diabetes Awareness Walk this Saturday, beginning at 6:30 a.m. at the St. Croix Major West headquarters in Peters West. Do this walk in January, Christmas time, people eat a lot. Just want to remind them that if they're diabetic, they need to get back on track with what they have to do, maintain the healthy lifestyle.
Participants will walk down the road listening to the rhythmic sounds of Tony Romano as a way to have fun exercising while making changes to live a healthier lifestyle.
You know you have it, you know you want to live healthy, you have to make some changes.
So you have to take control of your health. You have to discipline yourself. A lot of things people should be eating and they say I can't do without it. But then what's the end result? You'll be living with high diabetes and you're at risk all the time. So we're encouraging people to take charge of your health.
The walk will be followed by a health fair and clinic with lectures about diabetes and other disorders from Dr. Cora Christian, an activity that the Lions Club feels can benefit everyone.
The public to come out, and we want them to be aware of the fact that it's not only people who have diabetes we ask them to come out there. What we'll be offering there is flu shots. We'll have blood sugar screening. We're going to have blood pressure screening. And it's all free. Take charge of your health. Discipline yourself, and you'll be able to live a better life.
Janisha Jan, News 2.
Now, individuals interested in participating should meet for registration at 6:30 a.m. at the St. Croix Majorette's headquarters. The health clinic following will be open until 12. For more information, you can call 514-6057. Well, they have performed all over the world, touring since 2004, and now they are getting ready to release their very first video, Leading on Africa. And you can be a part of the musical celebration. We are talking about Bamboo Station's video release tonight at 7-7 in Sub-Base.
And it's been an amazing thing to see how people in South America, fans in the Pacific, in the Western United States, the Eastern United States, the Southwest, our Native American reservations in Taos, New Mexico, just how people have enjoyed and been so open to share what the music have meant to them, and as musicians, to be able to get such immediate and fundamental feedback is like, it's such a soul-stirring thing. So we've had a chance, we started the Bamboo Station Foundation, and we try to use the music as an opportunity to speak to children, speak to youth, speak to the people who listen to the music, and raise awareness about issues. So it's a holistic approach. Our music is an opportunity to express the things we see and to live the way we feel. Bob Marley's lead guitar player heard we were doing this album and stepped forward to record with us.
Wow.
His name is Junior Marvin, and he plays on several of the tracks, and that was a highlight and an honor, We just got an email the other day that iTunes selected it as one of the top albums of 2012, top reggae albums. So, the stuff that's coming in, the reviews on the album, sometimes you just have to pause. And it's a joy to watch because we always look outside of our borders for inspiration, to assimilate to be like, when in fact we have so much talent here, the world should be looking here.
That video release party is going on tonight at 7-7 in Subbase, and you still have some time. It goes on until 10 p.m. Lots of musical performers and entertainers also will be on tap. Well, Love More Reggae, Love City live events are underway in St. John. Steel Pulse, Intervisions, Rima, and Dwayne Stevenson, who stopped by our studios on his way out to greet fans, to sign autographs. Many fans had the opportunity to meet Dwayne at the innovative store in Tutu Park Mall today. 2 VIP passes were given out. His style and lyrics mixes poetic lyrics that address social ills, romance, and global issues. Stevenson's work as a songwriter reflects contributions from a diverse group of industry veterans. Here's what he had to say.
I was on the road with the Wailers for a while, just checking out a different vibe, a different energy. And now I'm back in the city applying all the things that I learned. So it's going to be a different energy this time around, and this time it's with a band. The last time I was here, it was a track show. It was a good show nevertheless, but it's not as live as it could be. And this time around, with the help of the Unity band, it will be definitely a great show. It's a great experience. So I'm saying people just need to come out and enjoy the vibe,
So what do you think keeps you connected to the Virgin Islands? What do you like most about it?
It's Caribbean. As much as it's called the U.S. Virgin Islands, it's a Caribbean territory, and we're all one. People, we relate well to each other in terms of music and culture and food.
Again, you can see Stevenson perform on Saturday, January 26th at the Winston Wells Ballpark on St. John. Gates open at 6:30 p.m. along with the legendary Steel Pulse, Intervisions, and Rima. Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.